Hey, remember that one time your teacher kept saying funguses and you were like, she doesn't know that the plural form of fungus is fungi? You don't remember that? Well, it's about to happen. So, um, sometimes teachers make mistakes, and frankly, I wasn't gonna remake this one. So, enjoy my errors. I'm sorry. It is fungi. All right, today we're going to cover acne, we're going to cover athlete's foot and ringworm, jock itch, and 3 different types of skin cancer. That's what our curriculum has us covering. So let's get right into it. Okay, starting with acne. So this is actually a $3 billion a year industry, as they have people that are like, oh, we need to fight acne. We got the product for you. So, let's see. I've got some other fun facts on here. Um, of of acne, like where people get it. 99% of people experience it on their face. 60% of people experience it on their back, and 15% experience it on their chest. That's where they report it. The biggest thing that you need to know about this is this: it doesn't happen because people are exceptionally dirty or eat bad. There are foods that you can eat to make your skin appear just just healthier, but really it happens because you have overactive sebaceous glands. So you're just producing more oil in those glands than other people do. So they do have an answer for it. Like you would go and get treatment from a dermatologist. Um, it's basically going to be stuff that would clear up a bacterial infection, or in some cases, it's an excessive. You have excess skin cells that are dead skin cells that are kind of infecting the area. So it is a good idea to exfoliate every day, wash your face. Um, so for dead skin cells, wash face, and ideally morning and night. That's going to help with that. But then you can use topical creams, and there are some antibiotics that people can use if it's a kind of worst case scenario. Okay, and these pictures, we found worst case scenario in every case. So here's athlete's foot. This comes from, if we look at the genus species thing, so it goes, dumb kids playing catch on freeways get smashed. The genus species of the bottom of that domain kingdom all the way down to genus species is Tinea. Tinea is the genus. The species of this one is Pedis. And basically it's just a fungus that when you have warm, moist areas where your feet sploosh into water and maybe someone else's foot splooshes into water, you share funguses. Funguses and little microbes, they really love warm, damp, dark places. And so best thing you can do for this, if you play sports at some point in your life, you're going to get athlete's foot. So it's going to be a quick treatment. You're going to go to Walmart and get, I want to say it's called like Loterman, but it's just an antifungal cream, and you can just rub it right on there. It will go away. But wear shower shoes if you're an athlete. If you're in the locker room, don't have bare feet, period, because yuck. This one affects wrestlers a lot. So it's another from the genus Tinea. So Tinea again. And the species for this one is Corporus. It appears as these, like you can see these big lesions like this rash. Typically warm, moist environments again. So in wrestling, they roll around on a mat and they're all sweaty. And we've seen worse infections than this. So when I taught at Bountiful, there's a kid that came up to me, hey, Rodell, what's this? And he had these like crusted pustules. They were disgusting, and I was like, get that away from me. But he actually had impetigo. It was a bacterial infection. They found out that the wrestlers were just taking the mats that they had all just wrestled on with other schools and everything, and they would just take this dirty mop and just drove it over it. So they're just spreading the bacteria and the funguses around. So they had to disinfect the mats. And that's my biggest thing is like, if you're a wrestler, if you're rolling around on these mats, a lot of people have a lot of funguses and stuff on there. You should use an antibacterial cleaner every single time it's used, period. But yeah, that's how you can avoid it. But antifungal creams, if you get it, it's not a big deal. You can just put antifungal cream on, it'll go away. And another yucky picture, yay! Jock itch from the same genus Tinea, only in this time it's gonna be cruris. It's a weird word, Cruris. So this one I would say, like, don't share towels. If someone like rubbed their body on something, don't borrow it. Yeah, just don't share things that you sweat in. Don't share wet things. If it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it, period. That's unless you have gloves on and you're in the medical field. Okay, skin cancer. We're getting right into skin cancer. So first thing that you should know about skin cancer is it's just what cancer is. I've got like a hair that's like attacking me. It's an uncontrolled cluster of cells. So you can get cancer anywhere in the body. My mom has just fought and won. She had cancer in her colon, in the distal portion of her colon, so in the rectum and the sigmoid colon. And they did radiation and they did chemotherapy and they did surgery, and now it's gone, which is awesome. But basically what happens is there's a cell that grew, and it grew without all the normal rules of other cells. So usually there's like a cell cycle, and just the way cells go through their cell life, it's pretty common what happens with them. But with these other cells, they just don't follow the rules, and they grow out of control, and they grow in clusters. So you can get those anywhere. One place we can get them is on the skin, and I'll show you this video. This will be just kind of the second part of this assignment. But we have our first kind of cancer that we have is basal cell carcinoma. I've got so many fun facts about this one. So this one has more cancers than all other cancers combined. So a lot of people are going to end up with basal cell carcinoma, and you can see like he's just had what they call an excision. So they've kind of cut around where his cancer sits, and it will leave those scars. If there is cancer on your face, eventually, if we get down in the next level, then we're going to have to dig deeper and get the ice cream scoop out and make sure we get all those cancer cells. So those scars will get gnarlier. They will get, like, sometimes take the whole tip of the nose and just take that right off. But these cancer in general can spread internally, but it's unlikely because it's usually localized on the skin. So this is one that's not as dangerous, but damage from the sun causes this. So we can be in the sun for somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes and be okay. It's good for vitamin D production. But if you're planning to be out there for an extended period, over 15 minutes, you have to have sunscreen on, and you need sunscreen regular, and you need sunscreen without exception, really, because if you're like me and you were an idiot and you're like, let's do tanning beds too, now you're kind of worried about a couple of moles at my age, so not okay. The lighter your skin is, the more prone it is to cancer too. So let's talk about that. Okay, next form is squamous cell carcinoma. So second most common type of skin cancer. But this one's more dangerous because it can metastasize, which means it can grow faster, and sometimes it can move internally. So in this case, yeah, we're getting the little like ulna ice cream scoop melon baller. We're just going to take the whole end of your nose there. So it's getting deeper, and tumors are going to appear mostly where the sun is exposing it. So if we've got a bald head, or if your nose or your ears, sometimes with short hair, your ears are exposed, that would be a place. Lips. For girls, sometimes we get skin cancer. We don't think about it, but a lot of times we wear shorter pants, so not necessarily shorts, but like capris. We get skin cancer on our lower legs sometimes, so we need to be careful about putting sunscreen there. And the next one is the gnarliest. It's called melanoma. So this one has a very high mortality rate, and the highest among skin cancers. Risk factors for this: family history. There could be a family history of it, or personal history, like you've had skin cancer spots before. Light hair, light eyes. If you have lots of freckles, so a high freckle density. If you have any kind of immunosuppression, that can be a risk factor. And then if you have multiple moles, that can also be a risk factor for this one. So you usually get like pigmented lesions, like this, like freaking globe. We can see the future in it. Scare me. But usually lesions with defined borders, and it comes from melanocytes. So melanocytes are there to protect us and go ahead and produce melanin so we can get an adaptation for the sun. But when it grows out of control, we end up with this proliferating melanocytes. So yeah, you need to wear hats. You need to wear sunscreen. You need to wear long sleeves sometimes, and just be careful in the sun. Don't be like my generation that was like, sun, what? We're fine. Okay, last slide. Here's what you need to assess periodically on your own body. So sometimes you can't see the moles on your back. Get your mom or get a trusted friend to take a look at your back and the place, the appropriate places that they can see. Okay, so ABCDE method to assess skin cancer. So we're looking at moles, and in those moles, we're looking for asymmetry. So if you draw a line, let's say a mole's like a circle like this, and you draw a line in a mole, you look for symmetry. And if there's like one side's all wonky and this side's round, that's asymmetry. So that could be a sign of skin cancer. If you have if the border looks a little bit weird, so in a benign tumor, which is non-cancerous tumor, you have smooth, even edges. If it's a melanoma, it's kind of scalloped and it looks like notched on the borders. So that can be something that you look for assessing cancer. Also, look for a variety of colors. Melanoma has more color, and the more color that a mole has, the scarier it is. Like that freaking, like, look at that thing. Like in 2021, here's what's gonna happen to us. Scare me. Okay, and then we look at diameter. Basically we're just looking at, is it spreading? Is the diameter of the mole getting bigger? And then we look at, like, is it raised? Is the mole raised? So we look at elevation, or we look at how it has changed. So the evolution part is like, how has the mole changed over time? If it's changed over time, that could suggest that you have skin cancer. So you should periodically do the ABCDEs, check your moles, make sure everything looks healthy. Keep your skin healthy by keeping it clean. Make sure you moisturize, especially areas where you have some dryness. You should shower. That's a good practice just to have for your whole life. And then wear sunscreen when you go out in the sun. Get some sunscreen on. You can have like that 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. That's all you get. So that's it. Have a wonderful fall break. I hope you guys have the time of your lives, and we'll see you back the Monday after.